Ancient cave ritual from 10,000 years ago may be the world's oldest tradition. In the charcoal remains of fires that smoldered more than 10,000 years ago, archaeologists have found evidence of what may be the longest continuing ritual shared across generations of indigenous Australians since the end of the last ice age to this day. The ancient lands of the Gunai Kurnai Aboriginal people in the foothills of the Australian Alps, an alpine area in the southeastern Australia dotted with rock boulders and limestone caves, and extends southward to Victoria Coast. The caves, were not used by Gunai Kurnai people for shelter, but as scheduled, secluded retreats for magical practitioners known as the Mula Mulung. Ethnographers documented these practices in the 1800s, but archaeologists inspecting the caves in the 1970s overlooked them because magic rituals did not fit with their mainly secular interpretations of the caves as places to cook and sleep. And now a team of archaeologists working with the Gunai Kurnai people have unearthed and described two miniature fireplaces ringed by limestone rocks, and each containing a single stick of casuarina wood stripped of side branches and smeared with fatty tissue. Ethnographers' accounts from Australia in the 19th century describe these rituals, conducted in caves by an esteemed doctor away from the rest of the community. Some European accounts described the role as one who bewitched or healed, of bewitching, describing objects lopping from or touched by an intended victim that were attached to a piece of wood and burned briefly with some human or animal fat. Monash University archaeologist Bruno David, Gunai Kurnai elder Russell Mullet, and other colleagues have now uncovered evidence of this practice deep within Clogg's Cave. The fireplace inside the cave are thought to have been rapidly buried soon after they were last used by sediments that date back some 10,000 to 12,000 years to the end of the last ice age and the dawn of the Holocene, our current geological epoch. What's more, the two fireplaces are nearly identical, yet the team's dating suggests that they were built and used 1,000 years apart. Excavated in 2020 with the permission of the help of Gunai Kurnai Aboriginal elders, the fireplaces and the wooden implements, which would have decayed had they been exposed, have been preserved out of sight for millennia. This makes it unlikely that abandoned remains of the ritual could not have been seen and copied by native newcomers to the cave, supporting claims the Gunai Kurnai people's tradition have been orally shared for at least 10,000 years. The suite of factors contributing to the survival of both fireplaces and their wooden artifacts provides unparalleled insight into the resilience of the Gunai Kurnai people, the Kurnai narrative traditions, David and his colleagues write in their published paper. These findings are not about the memory of ancestral practices, but of the passing down of knowledge in virtually unchanged form from one generation to the next over some 500 generations. After centuries of colonial disposition and dismissal, archaeologists and other scientists are beginning to learn from and work more respectfully with Australia's First Nations people, integrating their traditional knowledge into scientific analysis to enrich and strengthen the findings. These analyses, often of genetic histories, confirm what Indigenous people have known all along and continue to assert through oral traditions that they maintain deep connections to their ancestral lands. In Australia, specifically, researchers have matched ancient creation stories telling of the Gunditjmara people ancestors being born out of volcanic eruptions to geological records of those same events. Similarly, oral traditions of the Palawa people of Tasmania tell of rising seas that flooded the land bridge, connecting the island to mainland Australia some 12,000 years ago, and of constellations that lit up the sky at that time. Could it be the Younger Dryas comet impact, the Clovis impact? Now, this new work involved the Gunai people differ slightly in that the team has uncovered delicate handmade remnants of ritual practices preserved like the old traditions themselves. The study was published in Nature Human Behavior, and this is on Science Alert by Claire Watson. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.